I enjoyed Dragon Quest Builders so much on the PS4 that I went and bought it again for the Switch. And then I enjoyed it so much on the Switch that I went and bought it again for the Switch. And then I enjoyed, I'm joking, I only bought it twice. I'm not crazy too. One of those is actually Nat's copies, they're not both mine. Although, maybe I'm a little bit crazy, but that's the way you like me. Anyway, so when they announced Dragon Quest Builders 2, I was just ready for more. But after playing a little bit of it, it's hard to believe they crammed this much new stuff into this game. And not just new stuff. Like there's so many of the old features that they've just improved upon. Anyway, let's find out what's new in this video. And if you enjoy videos like this, consider hitting the subscribe button. Now, if you didn't already know, Dragon Quest Builders 2, it's already out in Japan, but there's a demo on the Japanese eShop. So if you want to give it a go, you'll need a Japanese account, and then you can download it from there. The good news is, if you don't have a Japanese account, there's a demo for the first game on all regions, so you can give that one a go. And to be perfectly honest, I think I actually recommend that you play the first game's demo over this one. Sure, this one has all the new features to try, but if you already played the first game, you're probably already looking forward to the second game, and you might as well wait for it. And if you haven't played the first game, the demo for the first game is actually better than the demo for the second one, simply because it gives you more of an idea of what the game is going to be about. The demo to the second game doesn't quite have that same town building aspect that you're actually going to be doing. So the first new feature that you are going to be able to try out is the multiplayer. That's right, the first one didn't actually have multiplayer in the same sense that this one does. And this one, 1 to 4 players can get into the same world and just play together, which is actually kind of funny because it almost follows suit as the original Dragon Quest 1 to Dragon Quest 2 does. You see, Dragon Quest 1 as an RPG, you were just one character, you didn't even have a party. And then when you actually got into Dragon Quest 2, you could have a party of 4, which is either a really big coincidence or the strangest thing for them to leave out. Next up, you're going to have a stamina bar. Now this allows you to sprint around, which is actually really handy because in the first game, it took you a long time to get anywhere. The one problem with this stamina bar is that it doesn't actually last that long. In other words, you're not going to be able to sprint that long a distance from what I tried in the demo. However, I'm thinking that when you actually get further into the game and start to level up, you might be able to increase the size of this stamina bar. And this same bar is also used for swimming, which is another new feature to this game. So in the old one, when you went into the water, it was almost like just falling into a pit in Mario. It's just woo! Where in this new one, if you jump in the water, you're going to be in basically this whole new area that you can just discover underwater life. It's actually really surprising how much of a difference just being able to go into these underwater sections and explore underwater makes. I know it's just kind of playing catch up with Minecraft in another way, as a couple of these features are, but it really does bring this game up another level. Which is kind of the same thing the Windbreaker cape does. Now if you don't know what this is, it's basically the glider from Breath of the Wild. So what you're going to do is whenever you're at a higher place and you jump, you can press this and just glide around the map. Another fun fact here is that this was introduced as well in Dragon Quest Builders 2. So they really seem to be like following suit or something along here with these. And one thing that actually did that kind of goes along with this, and I can't help but feel that maybe it was because of this they increased this, but they've increased the height that you can build. So you can actually build incredibly high now and scale down from there, which makes getting around these maps so much easier, as well as just getting a better view of everything that's around you. So one thing that they probably should have had in the first game, but again is a real game changer for this one, and that's having 2 equipable slots. So you can have like your mining axe equipped as mining axe. Who calls it a mining axe? So you can have your pickaxe equipped, and you can have, let's say, a sword equipped at the same time, meaning that taking on enemies to mining doesn't have to mean changing inventory every time. Also, the character inventory screen is miles above what it used to be. Even in Japanese, I feel like I'm having an easier time getting through this. Then when you're attacking enemies, you can actually swing your sword, or even mining, you can swing your weapons faster, which is another thing that just makes the whole game feel more fast-paced. Especially when you're dodging enemies, it's a matter of you running around them, not some sort of dedicated dodge button. It really makes a big difference for kind of the flow of the game. Jumping back to the water, and something that works similar to Minecraft is that they have now water source locations. So you actually have a bottomless jar that you can pick up water and put it somewhere else, and it will create a source block that will make water flow from there. And it acts, I'm kind of referring a lot to Minecraft here, I know, but it's the easiest kind of thing to refer to. But if you're used to the way that water reacts in that, you'll get the idea from the way it spreads out from the source block. The really different thing here is that the water actually has no push and pull mechanics. So when you're standing in it and it's flowing, it's not going to push you in any direction. Speaking of directions, the map is miles above, and I can't explain how many miles above. Literally. How many miles above the old map this actually is. So you used to be able to zoom up to have a look around you, but you couldn't get a very good view of the map. Now you can zoom your camera up again at another level and have a really good look about the whole area. And not just that, you now have teleporting spots, meaning getting back to base or getting back to other locations. Doesn't mean a trek across the whole map again. You can just teleport to these locations. This feature is actually kind of similar to the way you could teleport to locations around Breath of the Wild's map. Although, here's a little fun fact, is that again, when Dragon Quest 1 went to Dragon Quest Dragon Quest 2, you actually had the feature to teleport around the map in that game. This next feature might actually be one of my favourite to hit the game, and that's the first person mode. And weirdly enough, it's not something that I just use all the time. I don't play it like Minecraft where I have to play in first person mode. In fact, I prefer playing in third person. But when it comes to building, this mode is indispensable. What you can actually do is when you're building blocks and you look at the location of where you're going to build, you can build in a straight row from there. And what I mean by that is that if you were to hold down the build button, it will build 5 blocks up if you're facing the ground. Or if you're facing a wall, it'll build 5 blocks out from that wall. One new feature that I know a bunch of you are going to love is the new way to level up. So in the old game, the only level that you had was your town level, meaning that when you put stuff in your town, when you built your town up, you increase the level of it. Now you still have that in this game, but you also have a personal character level that you just get from slaying monsters or whatever else like that. You're also going to have this resident level. So meaning when you do stuff for people in town, they're going to throw hearts out at you and you're going to collect them and you're going to be able to spend them on stuff. Now, I guess you consider this more of a currency, but from what I can tell so far, you can spend the hearts on unlocking stuff like new recipes. Slopes are another new thing that they're introducing in this game. Now, Mario Maker 2, when that eventually comes out, could learn a thing or two from this, but basically any of the soft tiles in the game, you can chisel away at them to make them into a slope, meaning you don't always have to put stairs down to get up to higher places, or be constantly jumping up, I don't know why I'm jumping while I'm doing that, constantly jumping up blocks. Another massive thing that just makes me go, how did you miss this for the first game, is you can now craft not just one or all, but the in-between numbers. So in the old game, when you went to craft something, it was like, do you want to craft one of these, or do you want to craft everything you have? And obviously, there's an in-between number there, and now you can choose that number. Also making life a little easier, instead of having to break stuff to pick it up and move it to another spot now, you can actually have a pair of these gloves that you get near the start of the game, just to pick stuff up and put it somewhere else, not having to destroy the thing that you've put together. Which surprisingly is kind of like that building mechanic as one thing that Minecraft could really learn from this. A cool feature that I'm really interested to play around with is this new community board. So basically what you can do is now when you take pictures, which actually, yeah, that's another thing. You can now take pictures in this game kind of like you can with Mario Odyssey, and then you can post them to this community board where people can see on them, they can vote them. Something that just about does it for most of the bigger changes. There's some smaller ones like there's the new kind of quest log and the way you track quests and the way they look. There's also like the caves are much bigger and more expansive and stuff now on. But I think that's going to do it for this video. That's also going to do it for today's video because it is 40 degrees outside. I have 3 big hot lights beaming down on my face and I'm in this tiny little room, so I'm going to take a break. But thank you for watching today, and remember, for great Nintendo entertainment, you can count on me. If you're wondering about all the really cool Dragon Quest stuff here, I got Nat to set them up. It's mostly all her stuff. She's a really big Dragon Quest fan, as you can probably tell. And this is nowhere near all the stuff that she has. She's just kind of like, I'm just going to plonk this here and here and here. So yeah. Thank her for that. I'm sure you'll see around on some of the videos eventually. I'm just kind of, I don't know, getting set up first before she pops her head in and does whatever she does. Thanks.
ふわふわなので。
結構ふわふわなんで。
あるね。
おー、
本当にふかふか。
なんか写真映えしますよこれ。
はい。
今チャンスかもしれない。
皆さんどうぞ。
はい。
ビルダーです。
ちょ
ちょっと取ってきました。でね、これよく見るとね、ほら、スライムがいたりとか。